To support the welfare state we're becoming, almost half of the South African population is on one or other grant. We've seen a destruction of our skills institutions under the ANC government, which I fully agree with you. And it's one of the things that's pained me for so long, that the ANC seems to lack a propaganda machine to highlight the amazing things that they've done. Do you not think that maybe, to your argument, the ANC did so well that whether it's them or other people are saying, this is looking too good, we can't have this. So start destroying the things that are going to allow you guys to become really great. And let's rather move backwards and have greater poverty, fewer jobs. Let's have black people fighting amongst each other, with especially their foreign brothers and sisters. And this is where we are now. And let's not use apartheid as a benchmark, but let's say, can we borrow certain learnings from the apartheid government where they built infrastructure and maybe hold the black middle class accountable and say, copy how Eskom, Sasol, ISCO were built, and then do that here. And don't let the ANC, maybe they've run their race. Maybe it's now time for you guys to be like, okay, they did all these things and they tarred our roads. We now have flushable toilets, etc. And guys, let's stop expecting so much from these people. Now it's time for us to be like, they educated us. We had NSFAS, we had free schooling, we live in the suburbs, we speak good English. You can't expect your grandfather to do everything and take you to Dubai. It's now up to you to build the factories, to rebuild the skills institutions, to...
You always hear people saying that the ANC has got so many... you always hear people saying South Africans are lazy. Foreigners, that is. And why they say that is because where you have so many people on welfare, in that country, you'll have a guy who entered that very same country today, and he was put up a little box on the corner of a traffic light and start selling cigarettes, and before you know it, he's already got a spaza in 2-3 years' time. I am a Zimbabwean that doesn't want people to know where I live. But every time I need a plumber and I phone to look for a plumber, I get a Zimbabwean on the other side wanting to come and do my plumbing, so that and I don't want that Zimbabwean to come to my house. I hunt for the South African. I even hunt for white South Africans and Indian South Africans. And they're almost difficult to get because it's a Zimbabwean who's going to come do my plumbing. It's a Zimbabwean who's going to come and do my electricity. When I want gas to be delivered to my house, it's a Zimbabwean who wants gas to deliver the gas to my house. Every service that I need to be done at my house where I don't have a Zimbabwean knowing where I live and how I live, it's being done by a Zimbabwean. Plumbing, electricity, gas delivery, someone to fix my remote for the gate. It's a Zimbabwean who's coming. The security guards. You know, you and I used to share. Most of those security guards were from Zim. Now, the painter, Zim. All those opportunities that could have been taken up by South Africans who would not therefore need welfare. And most of those Zim guys who come and do the gas, who come and give you your electricity, who come and do your plumbing, who come and do your painting, they drive cars, they live comfortable lives. Whites, black South Africans should be living those lives. Now, my question is, why are they missing those opportunities? Because we've had this discussion before. They think that they don't want to do those jobs. I want an office job. But the Zimbabwean guy is coming to do it. We need to change the mindset of the people, and that's where the ANC got it wrong. They did not social engineer the people to understand the roles they're supposed to play to build a nation. White apartheid South Africa knew its role. They knew that we're going to enslave the blacks, but while we're enslaving the blacks, we are enslaving them so that we can have the better jobs. But we have to work.
We have to work.
We have to work to build a nation. Zimbabweans can be complacent as well. You don't see them behave the way they behave here. It's because they can't survive if they don't work. But sometimes even at home, they don't want to work because my cousin's going to send me money from the UK. My cousin's going to send me money from South Africa. They don't want to work, some of the guys there. But yet there's land that they can farm. There's mining that they can do. There's mining services that they can supply the mines. There's construction that they can do. They can provide the stones for construction, provide the cement for construction. They can be the construction company. There's so much to be done there, but they don't want to do the hard work. And I've said to you before, even I don't want to do the hard work. But we must accept when the things are not working because I don't want to do the work and where our government has failed. where you don't want to do the government, the work, yet the work is there. You are the problem. And that's a problem we are seeing in South Africa and Zimbabwe. We have Nigerians coming to Zimbabwe. I'll tell you a story. So this Nigerian guy comes. He sees all these buildings that are full of tenants and stuff. Then he goes and says, let me talk to the owners of the buildings. Goes to talk to the owners of buildings. A lot of them are white. He says, what are the problems you're seeing with your building? And this guy's saying, I struggle with my tenants paying the rent. Then this guy says, why don't you give me your building? How much do you make every month from your tenants? The guy will say, $32,000 every single month. You say, right, I'll give you 38. Give me the building. This guy says, what? You give me 38? I say, I'll give you 38 every single month without a doubt. The white guy says, that's fine. The first thing that the Nigerian guy comes, he ends all the leases. Then he says, you're no longer going to have a whole floor to one company. I'm going to partition the building into little cubicles. Then he puts in his own people. Everybody is now paying a fraction of what the guys that used to be in there were paying for a small little space now. But everybody can afford to pay the rent. The guy gives the white guy his $38,000, and then he keeps $115,000 to himself. And he's become a multimillionaire in Zimbabwe. From having a different approach to leasing buildings. No more leasing 10 floors of buildings for one company. I don't want the big companies. I want small little individuals that just want a space to showcase their products to millions of people who come into town. They're teaching us that in Zim. Right? Because we were wasting the opportunity. We were wasting space. We were used to abundance. Didn't use the abundance to its fullest potential. Now, you can hate that Nigerian and say, this Nigerian's taking our opportunity, or we can learn from him.
Correct.
And that's what we need to do in Africa.